All right, Big Mag, today's Wednesday. It is February 26th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Steak Draft Wednesday. Danny's here. Chief is out. He is sick.
Free swim. Close enough.
Yeah, what did I say?
Snake draft.
Yeah, you honestly scared me because I was like, I'm not prepared for a snake draft.
My brain's fucked. It is a free swim. Sorry. Yeah, so Nicky Smokes is in for Chief. I was so concerned about introducing you, Nicky. What? And Danny's been off his game all day.
Why?
Because you were so disturbed by that Topanga versus Maitland Ward argument on their podcast that you just
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
You don't.
I know who they both are.
Boy Meets World?
Yeah, I know.
You didn't see they got major beef in their podcast?
Yeah, I'm just saying I did not have any input on this so far.
Oh, shit.
Whose podcast? Pitch Picks?
No. What the Topanga's on Pitch Picks?
You just said they had major beef on their podcast.
Yeah,
whose
the
podcast?
Boy Meets Pod.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
Everyone's got the podcast.
Their co-host on it?
No. So Topanga, do you know who we're even talking about?
I have no idea. And like, why would that make you intimidated to announce me onto the show?
Yeah, very strange.
Well, I'm saying Danny.
Eddie was just gaslighting.
Oh, okay. He's having a bad day about this.
Yes,
topic.
exactly.
What is it?
So it's Boy Meets World, which I'm sure you've never even fucking heard of.
Really?
Wait. Is that the show that Blutman's dad did?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it found its way on my TikTok page, and it's funny, but I've never watched it.
Oh.
I've seen the clips, and I think the clips are hilarious.
That's a great show.
Yeah, Mr. Feeney. Ever heard of him?
No.
So,
but I do know the guy's crazy about that one girl that's kind of hot.
Topanga.
Yeah.
That's her name?
That's her, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm in.
She's the female lead of the whole show.
Okay.
And there was another lady who did the later seasons, I guess.
Later seasons, once like Sean's brother got introduced to the show, and for what it's worth, she later went on to do porn, right?
Topanga?
No.
This other girl who's tall, redhead.
I got to do some homework on that.
You're right back.
Our wires are crossed today, clearly. But no, so yes, they got into it on the podcast because the porn star Maitland came on her show, and they were just going at it. It was
about
what were they fighting about?
She originally said something about doing it for ratings, like she was going to help them with their ratings, and Topanga was like, oh no, like I don't care about that. Like you always accuse me of these things of like being cold to her and whatnot. And the Maitland responded with like, oh, like I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, what do you like? It was just a big he said, she said kind of thing.
Like, correct me for being an idiot, but when you said she's doing it for ratings, are you talking about she did porn to help the show ratings or the podcast?
The podcast ratings, like her going on there would help the pod ratings.
Gotcha.
Is something she said. And Topanga was like, I don't care about that. Yada yada yada. I was so nice to you, and then she said you weren't nice to me. I don't know. It was like a big.
Maitland thought she was walking into like a Lena the Plug podcast.
Maybe
Adam 22 waiting for her.
Maybe you
Whose
should.
side are you on?
I don't have a side, personally. I mean, it sounds like. I don't know Topanga, but it seems like I could believe that she was maybe not that nice.
I could see her being rude, but I could also see Maitland being a little.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to dive into that.
Whose side are you on?
This boy will have to meet the world. I mean, we've given you enough information.
I know. I'm thinking because I think Topanga might be a little bit guilty because this porn star came in and basically replaced her on the show.
No, just an added character. Topanga was still.
Girls get very jealous of each other.
Fair.
Very jealous.
Yeah.
You bring a new girl onto the show, the OG is kind of like, hey, this was my thing. This was my show.
Yeah.
And now instead of her getting flirted with everyone, now she's getting some attention. She's like, oh, and girls love attention. So now she might have took some attention away. She might have given her the cold shoulder. I think the porn star might have a point here.
Agreed. Topanga was never in jeopardy of like losing the star female role, but maybe was in jeopardy of being like
losing the locker room.
Prettiest girl on set.
Yeah, but I think it was like at the tail end of the show anyways, right?
That's when shit starts to dip off the deep end.
That's true. Everyone's kind of scrambling, thinking about what's next.
We should do like a talk to a recap pod about Boy Meets World recap pod.
We should. I mean, dude, it was on TMZ. They ripped the audio and everything.
Her podcast is just about what happened on the show?
Yeah, it's like a maybe like an episode recap pod. I'm not really sure of the format, but yes, it's Pod Meets World. So
I have been watching Boy Meets World recently. It's been on TV late night.
Really?
Yeah.
How is it?
A lot of great episodes. Corey straightens his hair, looks ridiculous, and he becomes part of the nerd table, and he realizes what it's like to be a nerd. That was the start of him and Topanga's like relationship, I think, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she was a nerd, remember? She had
Yes,
a crazy
she was,
character
yes.
arc. Not crazier than Eric Matthews, though. He went from the Fonz to like guy who just smokes weed in his parents' basement out of nowhere.
You know what shows changed my life is How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
Just started that.
I've been seeing you tweet about this.
It's amazing. And ironically, Barney, he's like my Michael Jordan, but in real life he's gay, which I think it makes it even funnier because he's the ultimate playboy. But the dude's got some valuable game that you could apply to the real world.
Neil Patrick Harris, yeah.
Would you like the show?
That's
if he
his
wasn't in
name.
it?
That's the actor's name. I'm sorry.
Would you like the show if Barney wasn't in it?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't. You know, like you watch a TV show and you find a character you relate to. Like for better or for worse, he's the guy I relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's tough too because like I don't really know a guy who stands Ted, the main character.
No, I can't do Ted.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone wants to be a Ted, but if you're actually a Ted, no one truly likes you.
Yeah, like you can see why he hasn't found his wife yet.
Do you know how the show ends?
No, but everyone says how bad it is.
Okay. I've never seen it, but that's all I know about it.
So-
That's such a tough recommendation then.
Does he not announce who the mother is until the ending?
Man, I did watch the last episode without having seen at least half of the other episodes. I believe so. I believe it's like in a weird way though.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of remember now.
You remember now?
Yeah.
All right, don't spoil it though,
Yeah.
because I'm balls deep into it.
Have you seen Harold and Kumar go to White Castle?
No.
No? All right, because Neil Patrick Harris is in that too.
Is that a show?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. You never heard of the movie?
What's
either?
it called again?
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Here's a little for the audience. You're like, I know you're younger, but there's also a lot of younger people who would have at least heard of that.
Yeah, the thing with me is I'm not very cultured when it comes to movies. So every Sunday, I send out a tweet asking Twitter to put me on. And I've got some great recommendations, but no one's given me Two Dudes Go to White Castle.
Well,
Because he hasn't seen like classics. I don't know if we're gonna tell you that before like Goodfellas.
yeah, you're not going to watch that before Heat.
Heat was amazing, by the way.
I've still never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to see that movie.
Yeah. No, I like the
Fantastic
series
movie.
you're doing because I got a lot of fucking holes in my game too. So Heat's been on the list for a while. It's just,
Check that off.
you really got to set yourself up. It's 3 hours, right?
I think it was 2.5, and I draw my deadline at 2.5.
You're not going over that,
I could do 3.
but it needs to be like a hell of a recommendation.
Correct.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The intermission in between.
You know, so
It's daunting. 3.5 hours. Remember the Irishman came out? People are acting
Saw
like it's
that.
a day-long movie.
Yeah. I feel like on a Sunday though, I could do a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, easily.
do you look at your phone at all?
So I actually just started this new thing where at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'll put my phone in my room and I just want to watch whatever's on my TV
That's good.
because I never realized how much I'm on my phone and how much it fucks with me mentally, just constantly scrolling and you're like comparing yourself to this person or watching this and so I was like, I actually just want to submerge myself, if that's the right word, into what I'm watching. Like I watched a full basketball game without my phone the other day and I was like, wow, this was actually enjoyable. Like I enjoyed watching basketball.
Was it good though?
What, the basketball game?
Yeah, it was the basketball game.
No, the Warriors won by like 40. But I was like, oh, look at that pick and roll. Like, look at the footwork. I felt like I was a coach studying the game.
Like you're coming in here and you could talk about it better than anybody else can.
Right. And I feel like it's important to detach, especially with what we do. Like we're on our phones 24/7.
That's why I like the movies, the actual theater.
Yes. Because if you do that there, that's like worse than seeing someone smoking a cigarette.
Right.
Oh, I can't even like. Don't get me wrong. Like you put your ringer on, like you're jail. Like
Yes.
jail. But if you're in my aisle and I see your bright phone,
Bro.
I fucking hate you too.
Yes. I'm scared to even check the time on my phone.
Yeah,
when
for
I'm in
real.
there.
For real.
What was like our second source of stimulation growing up while watching TV? Because now we always have to have the phone in one hand, double screen, look at the TV at the other.
Definitely computer.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say like a PSP. Remember the PSP?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Computer
good one.
though, I can't remember myself like having a laptop on my lap while watching TV, especially.
Oh, you're saying simultaneous.
Yeah. Because now, just like Smoke's saying, TV alone doesn't do it.
I think that's it. I think we were just locked in on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Maybe like changing the channels more during commercials or some shit.
Maybe.
I'd find myself just scrolling through the guide with like the show in the left corner.
Yeah.
As like extra stimuli.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just getting up and just going to the fridge and opening it for the fucking millionth.
Do you guys do that too?
I feel like I did it more as a kid.
Oh no, like
Right?
I open my fridge 4 times a day just to look at it, and then I just close it and sit back down. It might just be an ADHD
I
thing.
think a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
So I don't even think it's that.
That
They
weird.
say even though you know what's in there the first 3 times, the 4th time you go back is because you're like lowering your standards. That's when you go for like the slice of cheese as a snack. You're like, all right, this will do.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, like I think every human brain has some form
Oh,
of
yeah.
ADHD. It just
Yeah.
depends on the severity. Like that's
Yeah.
what it is. Like you're just getting up because you want to do something.
Yeah, like even around here in the office, I can't sit in my chair for more than 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Will you get up and like I don't even have to go to the bathroom, but I'm just gonna walk in here and like trickle some out just because.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I come in here all the time just to like
Yeah,
talk
just,
to you guys.
Hey,
and do
what's
some-
up? Real quick. Yeah, because you need other stimulation.
Like I don't know how people work at home. That's my biggest fear.
Is to have to work at home.
Yeah, because I'm such like, if I was just by myself in my little apartment, like working remote, I'd lose my mind. I would just talk to myself for hours. I have to be talking with other people.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're in the minority, but even like when I have to work on a Saturday or Sunday, I like going to like a Starbucks or like the common area in my building.
There
You
is,
can't shit where you eat.
yeah, there is something.
Hey, yeah, you're right. Definitely don't shit where you eat. Trust me.
There is something nice going to another area like that. Like we used to go to the library. I actually really
Yeah,
kind of
we
enjoyed.
did.
Yeah.
We used to be library boys.
I love the library.
There's something so soothing about it, right?
It's just 10 times less distracting. I don't know. You reset.
Well, you go in there and it's set, there's like a purpose. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like you walk into the gym, you know you're gonna work out. You walk into a library, you know you're there to get shit done and work on something.
And you can't be a dick there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like you have to be there in your own world. Sure, you could be unproductive, but
And also, you're just not in your own environment.
yeah,
It's more about like you can't leave like a library or something without like having actually done something, or like why did I even come here to write
Right.
2 sentences?
Yeah.
But you're at home. That blog you're trying to write can linger for like 3 hours. Like, it doesn't even matter.
smell the books and whatnot.
I love book smell.
Do you?
It's my top 5 weird smells.
Really?
My testicles is 1.
Hmm.
Fingernails is 2.
Fingernails.
Old books is 3.
Finger. That's
After
absurd
you, after you
list.
finger someone? What
Nah.
do they smell like?
Sometimes it
fishy?
depends on the bird.
Well, your fingernails will just smell like whatever you ate last, right?
Yeah. But see, now you're going to lead me into sounding like a douche. And then I forgot what 4 and 5 were. 4, it's not weird, but new car smell. Love that one.
Yeah, I think everyone loves that.
And then I forgot what I put at 5, but
Paint
something like
thinners.
that. Yeah.
What do you
Smelling
think
salts.
about your boy Diddy? And
This is what he did. See, this is what he was trying to do with Boy Meets
I'm just
World
fucking
show.
around. You see his lawyer?
So, the
Dropped
guy
the case?
he defended Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
And he's like, I can't help Diddy. That's how you know you fucked up.
Do you think it's that, or do you think it's that he just like doesn't have a case? Like he,
Well,
And
if you're a
Osama did.
lawyer, do you think it's easier to defend the guy responsible for 9/11 or
but
what Diddy did?
I don't know the logistics of like did they fuck something up? We're like, hey, yeah, Osama did do it, but they didn't give him his fucking Miranda rights or something. You know,
Okay.
that's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying?
But like, what are we even talking about? Did Osama go to trial? Like, wasn't he hiding forever? Like, what does
How
that
does he
mean?
even have an American lawyer? Like, it's not like he was going to show up
Yeah.
to U.S.
The
court.
second tower was not his fault.
We murdered him.
I thought of that too. It's like, yeah, can you have a court? Like, can you do that if your guy's never going to be here?
It made no sense. Why even say that you're taking his case if you never like physically have to go to a courtroom?
I don't
That
know.
boy's hiding in a hole.
Yeah, he said he's not going to do it. He's out.
I mean, Diddy's got to be cooked. Like, he's cooked.
Yeah,
So you would
he
think.
might as well be. Like,
Mhm.
it's not like if he gets out of prison, he's gonna have this whole rebirth,
Does
the hard stigma to get away from.
Does hearing the shit that went on with him make you start thinking that those top echelon celebrities are low-key satanic?
Yeah,
Because I don't think it's just one guy. Like, they all go to the parties. They all hang out. Like, you see the videos of him and other rappers, and, like, you start putting pieces together, and it's like something weird is going on.
for sure. It's like they sing and rap about it all the time.
Yeah, but I also don't know the extent of their hangouts. You know, like a lot of these people truly are just doing stuff so people will talk about them.
Yeah.
So if that's like the extent of their hangout, like, oh, hey, they're at a Lakers game, shaking up, they look like they're friends, it could just be all bullshit. There's so much bullshit. Like,
Think about like the Cat Williams stuff though, like kind of proven true.
Yeah.
The guy in a dress.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy White Sox Dave was in a dress recently in that music video. He's next.
It's true. That's true. Do you get what I'm saying though? Like, I think a lot of these relationships that we think we know of are just Hollywood facades.
But I think that's kind of what they want you to think.
I don't think it's as many as we think, but I think like Jay-Z, Beyonce for sure.
Right.
Like, are good friends with him?
No, I think they are like
Just as
if there was an Illuminati, they are a part of it.
They're a part
right.
of it,
I do
yeah.
think there is an Illuminati for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe they call it a different name, but there's some elitist group that is doing some fucked up shit.
Right.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying, I think if you see two people from completely different parts of the world and they're out in public, I think that's kind of like a, hey, this is good for both of us.
Like, what do you mean? What's like your example?
First two people that popped in mind, you said Jay-Z, so I'll say Jay-Z and Obama. Like, if they're at a Nets game.
Again, I would put them in that category of Illuminati.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them in that category because they're together. I just think that they've reached that certain level.
Yeah.
I don't know about Obama.
I see what you're
Jay-Z.
saying. They're basically kissing babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the extent of their hangout is public facing, and it's not like they're going back to some deep, like they're not hanging out.
For sure, but I do think the people they consider friends, no. Like, for example, like me and DC, right? Mm-hmm. Like, at work, we're friends, but it's, this isn't like a crazy thing, but it's not like we're texting each other on Saturday, like, yo, what are you doing tonight? I feel like the people texting Diddy, yo, what are you doing tonight on a Saturday, might be well aware of what's going on.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't know the amount of famous people that were doing that. That's what I'm curious about. It could be a ton, but I wonder.
There's like you have plenty of friends, but there's certain people you're inviting to poker nights.
Yes.
That's how I look at like
For
party.
For sure. So I wonder how, like, obviously it appears that Diddy was doing this shit. Like, I wonder how many of the celebrities were actually going to the poker night.
I think you'd be surprised by the number.
And it's definitely believable that there's plenty there that didn't,
especially in today's culture where everything is OnlyFans, very sex driven. I think there's plenty of celebrities that would be barking at the bits to get into one of Diddy's orgies.
Sure. But
maybe not even knowing what actually goes on. There's like, oh, I want to go to a cool party.
Because everyone's like, there's no party like a Diddy party. Like, it's a slogan.
And in the other room, there's just a 10 pile up orgy going on.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen, though. Like, I'm ready for some of the information more to come.
I would just love to see one of these pricks get arrested for once.
Yeah.
And when's the last time you've heard like a rapper, celebrity get booked for something like that?
You say that, like he's cooked, but dude, fucking Cosby got out.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
And that just shows you how corrupt our judicial system is.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's crazy.
It's all about money and who you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't be like literally showing up on the shores of this guy's house, barging in to his mansion, and then it's like, oh, he's good, not arrested.
Did you know where he lived down there? Like, was that like a thing?
No, I know he lived in Miami, but I don't have the specifics.
There's not like a specific spot where all these people stay in Miami?
Probably like Brickell or South Beach.
Yeah.
I had to take a guess.
It's kind of wild that.
A lot of them live in Star Island.
Okay.
I don't know if that's where he lived, but there's a lot. It's literally an island of all celebrities. They all live there.
There's obviously Miami has always had a ton of stars, but it's like even more so, right? Like it's getting crazy how many people are just moving there.
It's like it's a conservative LA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
How many people?
I honestly don't even like going to Miami when I go home.
Why?
It's just too. Like, I love Chicago because it's a city, but it's not a city, if that makes sense. It's a slower pace. Mm-hmm. It's a better vibe. There's more like just low key, chill spots. People are more normal, down to earth. Versus Miami, you go back there, everyone's dressing to impress. Which, look, I like to look nice when I go out, but it's a different level. The girls are only looking for high end guy. It's not a genuine vibe.
But is there really not a chill spot in Miami?
No, there definitely is, but I guess like it's more so when you go to the heart of the city, like where the nice nightclubs are and shit like that. It's where it gets bougie, and
it's like why go to Miami if you're just looking for a chill spot, right?
Yeah, but no, there's definitely low key areas in Miami that you could just vibe and get down at for sure.
But it's just got the idea of everyone has their foot on the gas when they're there.
Correct.
Yeah,
and like my foot's been on the gas since I was 15. So when I came up here, that was like a huge shock for me.
Yeah.
And like the slowing it down has been one of the best things that happened to me, to be honest.
I was going to say, when you were drinking in Chicago, like how much money were you saving compared to doing nightlife in Miami?
A lot, because in Miami or it's just South Florida in general, you don't just go out to dive bars. Like, you're buying tables, and tables are a couple grand. You split it with your boys, but it's still $300-$400 a head, whatever. And then after you run out of the first bottle, you got to buy another bottle. That's another $700. You chop that up, whatever. Extracurriculars are not cheap either. And then you meet a pretty girl and you want to get one-on-one time, so you take her. It's very expensive versus Chicago. You get her a bucket of Millers and some darts, and it's game on.
Yeah, would even like a beer down there in Miami be like a stadium priced beer?
Yeah, it's expensive. Again, like, there's obviously little dive bars and shit in Miami that are great that I've been to. A lot of resorts too, but very expensive. But in terms of just like having a normal nice night out, it's a lot harder to find down there than up here.
Yeah, you gotta pre-plan the nights.
Like, let me explain it like this. When I was in Miami, a night at Declan's sounded like my worst nightmare. You know, like, oh, we're just sitting at this bar, like drinking beer. That's it. Like, that sounded like a horrible night out. And then you start getting used to the culture here, and you're like, oh my God, this is kind of the best thing ever.
Yeah. You don't got to treat every night like a bachelor party.
Right.
Yeah, like, as far as the nuts and bolts of it, I think it's way better, right?
I like it here better.
Because, don't get me wrong.
Like, you could do that here if you want.
Yes,
like Miami
yeah.
life. Like, you rent a table at fucking Tao, wherever. Name your
Correct,
nightclub
Great
of
spot,
choice.
by the way. Tao's amazing.
Yeah, which, listen, time and place for everything, but like, just the logistics of, you get the bottle and what did I give you? Fucking cranberry, orange juice, and
And a Red Bull.
yeah, it's like, come on, like, you don't want, like, at some point, like, you really don't order beers there. At some point, you want your own cocktail. Like, there's
Right.
just no way to really customize what you want.
Right.
Yeah, and you're not just like, oh, fuck it, let's go downtown Miami. I feel like you need the table ahead of time, the reservation.
That's another thing. Going out without a table is one of the most miserable things of all time.
Yeah.
Like, even here in Chicago, I'm not going to say the name of the club because a good friend of ours, but it's the best club, I think, in West Loop when you have a table, and one of the worst bars to be at if you don't have a table in West Loop.
Yeah. That's the case for a
Because
lot of
you
places.
can't move, and that's the case in Miami as well.
Off the leash segment. This one is not from one of our brains. This one has just been going around. It's been going viral on the internet.
Outsourced.
Yes. So curious what you guys think about this. A woman was angry that a guy sent her $30. He sent her a $30 Apple Pay, and she returned it because she said it was low effort.
Well,
I'm confused.
yeah, what do you mean?
So he said, get yourself some lunch in the
Oh.
text.
What?
He says, I know it's not much, but get yourself some lunch. And it was a $30 little Apple Card text.
See, like, that's the problem with certain women in today's world.
But let's see.
Like, you should be thankful. I look, the average lunch here in Chicago, whether it's fucking McDonald's or Chipotle, is $20. But if he's going out of his way to be like, hey, here's $30 for lunch, the first thing you should say is thank you.
Was it low effort because of the dollar amount, or the fact that like he didn't go get lunch with her
Yeah, I think
personally?
you're missing the point. I think it's not a low effort.
Okay.
Dollar amount.
Okay.
No, I think $30 for lunch is perfect.
Are they dating?
Yeah, details are completely necessary.
Like if she's at work and he's at work and he
Yeah.
can't take her out to lunch, like sending her $30, like, hey, lunch is on me, is a very nice thing.
yeah,
to
like
do.
did he cancel lunch plans and
Now
do
that yes,
instead?
that could be a red flag. Like, then I would be on the girl's side. If they had plans and he's like, oh, last minute I can't, but here's $30, she's 100% in the right.
It doesn't appear that that's what happened because their text exchange goes, he says good morning, she says good morning, and that was at 11 in the morning. And then at 4 o'clock, he sent the $30 Apple Pay, and he said, I know it ain't much, but lunch on me. Then she sent it back. She said, you don't have to do that. Thanks, though.
Well,
So it sounds like they're not dating to me.
But that response from her is, I mean, she was just trying to be nice. Oh, you don't have to.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what she said. But then her caption, she screenshotted it, and she said, honestly, I'm so over low effort. Just keep it. Fuck it.
These girls will do anything for attention these days. Like, that's where I'm at. Now, if it didn't get screened, if she's the one that posted it, obviously. Yeah, you're just looking to shit on someone.
I kind of think it's weirder for him to just send $30 on.
That's what I need to know. Did she clarify that she was in fact mad about the dollar amount and not the?
No, I think her caption says it all. Low effort.
Like,
But again, that could still be like low effort of not taking her out personally, or
I don't.
$30.
That's it's for sure not taking her out personally.
and
30
lunch at
bucks,
4 o'clock is also crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But it's definitely about not taking her somewhere and not making it more personalized. It's not about the dollar amount. There's no way.
Yeah. Okay. Given those clues, there was no canceling of plans. He was just trying to do a nice gesture on a day where he probably wasn't going to see her anyways.
Yeah.
$30 is absolutely enough for lunch.
Right.
Yeah. So factor that out. It's not a money thing. This is like she probably wanted, if you're going to send me lunch, send it to wherever I am. You know, give me the bread bowl, whatever.
The only thing
make it personalized. Don't just give me a fucking number.
So he would have been better off doing nothing at all.
Yeah, essentially.
I guess what bothers me is that if she likes this guy, I mean, which she obviously doesn't, I feel like she went out of her way to put him on blast. So that kind of tells me right there that she's also a little shady. Now, she might somewhat be in the right, but to screenshot that and post it kind of tells me something too, that you're looking for you're looking for attention, essentially.
Off the leash.
You think it's off the leash?
Yeah, it's off the leash. This girl must be from Miami.
But is it?
Probably is.
I would agree it's off the leash to complain about it and make a big deal about it for sure. But is she allowed to want something more personalized if a guy wants to do a gesture for her?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll send girls money to get their nails done. Or like, I'll go out and buy them flowers for sure. I feel like, yeah, he could have did.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got a surprise for you after work today, blah, 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 blah. I think that might be better than $30.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he thought he was doing a nice thing. She said this is low effort, which it kind of is in a way. Although it's a nice gesture, you could go above and beyond. The part that rubs me the wrong way is her screenshotting it and posting it to make it a big deal.
My final takeaway, I don't think it's off the leash for her to think it's low effort. To make a big deal about it and post it.
That's off.
And huff and puff is off the leash.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
I have necessary follow-up questions, though. Say you're seeing a girl. Just right now, you're like, oh, I already know that I won't be able to see her tomorrow, whatever. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do something nice. I'm going to send her $30. I miss you. I haven't seen her today. Go get yourself some lunch. Like, under those pretenses, that's totally fine. You're doing a nice thing out of nowhere. If that's the case, then that's
100%.
And I think a lot of people would be fine with it, but I'm just I'm combing through all the details. If she wants to think that it's low effort, I think it can be considered low effort.
But it's like it was almost I'm picturing it was either that or nothing at all. Like they weren't planning on seeing each other that
Agreed.
day.
And I think it's one of those things where you should be more glass half full on it. But
I think if they were going to see each other that day, there would have been a text like, hey, I can't make lunch. So it literally went from 11 a.m., no contact, 4 p.m., here's $30. I don't want it, low effort, post it on the internet.
Yeah,
there's something wrong about that.
You dodged a bullet, my friend.
Yeah. Count your blessings.
But I stand by that. I think anybody getting you a gift, you should just be grateful for it.
For sure.
Regardless of what it is. But if you're someone who actually was looking into like actually courting this fella, and you're like, hey, like this is just like, you know me by now. Like
right.
I could have done something a little more.
I disagree. Because that's better than nothing. Like
I feel like
he was originally going to do nothing.
And I feel like the longer you're with someone, the more appreciated those little gestures are.
Yeah, and that's
like if I'm dating a girl for 3 months, they might be like, oh, he's love bombing me. You know, it's like all that honeymoon phase. But if you've been together for 5 years and your girlfriend sends you $30 or vice versa, I feel like that means a little more.
Yeah, like personally, that's more than fine for me. And I think it's normal to be like, well, yeah, great.
If your girl sent you $30 to get lunch, you would be fired up to see her after work.
Who cares? Yeah, like who the fuck cares for sure.
Imagine like sending flowers to her work and her being like, these aren't roses.
Yeah, for sure. But in today's society, I think that's kind of where we're headed.
Keep your head up, King.
Where everyone wants a personalized.
Got a rude awakening for you ladies.
You know,
that's why
like,
social media sucks.
This is to me the equivalent of the person who's like, oh, gift cards are meaningless. Like that, there's no emotion in that for a Christmas gift.
I love a nice gift card.
Yeah, but you've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
Like people who don't like to get gift cards.
Yeah, but
because there's no feeling in that.
In that case, you're doing gift card over a heartfelt present. In this case, you're doing $30 to a free lunch over nothing at all.
I'll tell you what, on Christmas, I got 3 nephews. Oldest one is like 7. And I didn't know what to get them, so I gave them all cash, and I felt like shit. I gave these little kids cash, I made their fucking day. They were loving Uncle Nicky.
Oh, really?
They
liked
loved the cash. Yeah. And ironically, one of them got a safe from Santa. And he's like, oh, I could go put this in my safe now. So it all worked out. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'm arguing the other side just for the sake of argument too. Like I said, I think 3. I think a gift is a gift,
Yeah.
right? But there are levels too.
Sure, we don't know enough information here. If he like had been canceling on her all week, it was like, I hope this makes up for it. Yeah, I could see why she's mad. But if this was just like, I'm going to decide to do something nice out of nowhere, not enough.
This blog also, Kareem, it's got another thing.
I wonder whose side he took.
And it says, to me, a physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy man doesn't vape, doesn't smoke weed, doesn't get vaxxed, doesn't watch porn, lifts weights weekly, prioritizes his sleep, eats lots of steak and eggs.
Sounds like you're talking about me.
I don't check one of those boxes.
Doesn't drink tap water, doesn't use AirPods, would choose a podcast over music, cooks with butter, ghee, tallow, and evu, doesn't eat and drink out of plastic, uses fluoride-free toothpaste, doesn't douse himself in sunscreen, doesn't wear aluminum deodorant,
9-inch dick, trillionaire.
wears 100% cotton underwear, doesn't trust the government, doesn't black out every weekend, utilizes cold plunging in the sauna, gets daily sunlight and grounding, knows birth control is poison, uses natural remedies when sick, has some type of daily spiritual practice, isn't stuck in soul-sucking 9 to 5, has hobbies and passions in his life.
I mean, unless this girl's Dua Lipa, then...
Is that a dating profile or what she's looking for?
This is what she tweeted.
That's got to be a bit, right?
I don't know, 13.3 million views.
What?
She's
It's a great joke. I think she wrote a great joke.
You think so?
Yes.
No AirPods. What does that mean? What's better?
I don't know.
I think AirPods would be like cooler than Beats. Or more normal. At least.
What's her beef with plastic forks?
Yeah, what the fuck? Worry about yourself.
She's got beef with everything.
Like, does she like doing dishes? I don't.
She loves sea turtles.
I'm with you, dude. I don't like people who look down on plastic cutlery.
It's crazy.
It's just so convenient.
And paper plates. Like, I love those things more than my china.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is absurd.
I did check like the first 10 boxes, she said.
It's only
Did
30,
you?
only 35
read
more
them
to
again.
check.
Doesn't vape,
Yep.
doesn't smoke weed,
Yep.
doesn't get vaxxed,
Yep.
doesn't watch porn,
Yep.
lifts weights weekly,
Yep.
prioritizes his sleep,
Yep.
eats lots of steak and eggs,
Yep. Every morning.
doesn't drink tap water,
I don't drink from the sink, no. So, yeah, it's 8.
doesn't use AirPods.
I use it.
Dang
it. I was on a run.
You were on a run.
Damn. I love my AirPods.
Do you
though.
choose a podcast over music?
No, I'm a big music guy.
Time out. I actually want to talk to you about that.
What?
Your Drake meat riding is...
It's not meat riding. I'm defending my guy.
No.
No, because the whole internet likes to come at my GOAT, shitting on him, tearing him down, and I'm just out here defending him. Drake is a very important person in my life, and there's a deep story that connected me to Drake. I don't know if you want me to share that or not, but it's not meat riding. He is my Michael Jordan. Like, what Michael Jordan is to the city of Chicago is what he is to me. That's my guy. I've always been a Drake guy, and when the whole world wants to take shots at him and act like he's this big piece of shit, me, as a true fan, am going to back my guy. That's just what it is.
What's the story?
Yeah.
So...
Can't just say that.
Yeah.
All right. So when I was like 10 or 11, my parents had a terrible divorce, like screaming at each other so loud that like my sister would run in the room crying, not knowing what to do. And the only way I could block out my parents fighting is if I put Beats headphones on and I played the music to like the max level.
Playing Marvin's Room in there.
And at the time, Drake released the Take Care album, and I would just listen to that album for hours on hours on hours until like I would take the headphone off and the fighting would stop, and then I would just go to sleep. So I probably did that from the age of 10 to like 14, 15 of just nonstop, like headphones on, block everything out. And Drake was just always my guy. And like in his songs, because he came from a split family too, that like I related to a lot of the lyrics that he said. And I just thought he was a great artist. And he got me through like that rough period in my life. So I'll always be grateful.
Do you have as much adoration to the inventor of headphones as you do Drake then?
Yeah, I probably
feel
well, here's the thing though. Headphones are useless unless you appreciate the sound coming out of them. Like if there was no music, I don't think I'd ever walk around with AirPods or anything. I don't listen to podcasts or shows or anything like that, which I probably should, but I'm just, like I wake up, the first thing I do is play music, brush my teeth, play music, shower, music, gym music. I'm always listening to music throughout the day.
All right.
I helped Drake out on the Super Bowl. Had a super viral tweet.
Yeah, you did. We both did some good numbers.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
think
too.
Drake defenders will go on to be on the right side of history.
Are you a Drake meat writer too?
Yeah.
And like for you to just throw the term meat writer.
Yeah, a fan.
Like what are you, Eddie?
Time out. Listen, if you're gonna say that it wasn't meat writing, when you're like your 19th tweet defending this guy, like
it's my guy.
Meat writing, it's fine.
So when you rage tweet about the Bears 19 times after you lose to the Packers for the 800th time, that's not meat writing?
Sure, in a sense.
Okay, so we each ride meat.
All right, fine, sure, in a sense.
All right, we're meat riders.
But like
Drake is essentially a franchise.
Coming back from a big loss.
But
Was it
you're defending a person. I'm defending
like rap's a sport.
Was it the 12 crying emojis that Nicky used?
What did I do?
I said, was it the 12 crying emojis? Maybe he's more.
That's my favorite emoji.
He's more focused on how you phrased it. You wanted to be like more critical of the tweets,
I was just
the
like,
number of tweets.
I would just pop on, and this guy was still going. I'm like, this guy's just.
Well, you got it.
Well, was it the album release night?
Yeah, he's getting numbers.
Yeah, it was ripping.
It's like live tweeting.
And plus, everyone on Twitter was listening to it at the same time. So I was
live tweeting during the Bears game.
Yeah, that's what it was.
There's a difference in you defending. I mean, like essentially, sports fandom is rooting for laundry, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little different than.
I don't know. It's a one-on-one combat sport.
And he's rooting for the underdog technically, like.
And it's kind of OVO versus everyone. Like OVO's my team.
I mean, it's not.
There's the rest of the league.
It wasn't cool to be like hyping Drake up like that. I'm saying like he was prone to plenty of people being like, dude, he lost, it's over.
Is Drake ever really the underdog though?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, when it's 20v1.
Oh,
so you're convinced like Drake won this whole thing?
I think Kendrick won the battle, but Drake will win the war as he always does. Because Kendrick has 2 number ones, and one of them, the song is about Drake, and the only reason why it was so relevant is because Drake is anti-industry. He's trying to get out of his contract with Universal. And it was a great song. It was a great hit. But I think in terms of lyrical, like bars that came out in that beef, I think the song Family Matters that Drake dropped was better than anything Kendrick dropped. But it doesn't matter. It's all about which hit was played more, and Kendrick got that. So tip of the cap to him. But in terms of being an artist, Kendrick doesn't even sniff Drake's feet.
And I don't have a dog in the fight, to be clear. Not at all. I don't. I think that song's really good though.
Right, and it's kind of like Tom Brady's lost a couple Super Bowls. He's still the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drake lost. He might have lost a battle to Kendrick, but you look at the body of work and how long he's been on top. It's not even close.
Lance, you got anything to chime in here? I got nothing because I just don't know shit about rap, and these guys are meat riding Drake hard.
Normally, I come to your defense. I also would be a Drake meat rider.
Wow.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a take before. Like when you think about. Like who in our generation would be comparable to like a Frank Sinatra in the past? If you look at who's got the hits, if it's not Bieber, it's fucking Drake.
It's Drake.
You know, so Drake might be my GOAT. I don't know.
I mean, Drake's been a superstar for the past like 15 years.
Did you like him on Degrassi?
I didn't watch Degrassi, but I probably would have.
He got shot.
I was too young. The only memory I have of Degrassi is waking up at 2 a.m. and Nickelodeon still being on.
Yeah, was that on Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Degrassi?
Them and George Lopez would wake me up. And I was always scared to watch Degrassi because they take drugs on it. And I was so anti-drugs as a kid.
Were you?
Yeah, I didn't even know what weed looked like till 10th grade.
Really?
Yeah. I was very straight edge, and then 10th grade happened, and like that's when like the divorce really hit, and I was just like, all right, I'm off the rails, and then started hanging out with the wrong group, and then the beast was born, and yeah. But I mean, look, I think everything worked out in the end.
Came back full circle.
Yeah.
Back to straight edge.
Give me 3 Drake songs to listen to.
Okay, I think his greatest song of all time is Tuscan Leather.
Okay.
I love the song Views. The album is also called Views, but the song Views, fantastic song. And then There's so much range here. If you want like a nice little slow vibe, this is one that I like to listen to, like on a drive home, sun setting. Maybe you're in your feelings a little bit. It's called Fire and Desire.
Fire and Desire.
It's a beautiful song.
All right. I'm going to listen to these.
Yeah, they're really good.
Interesting choices.
Yeah.
Would you have said that?
No, none of them.
Tuscan Leather is my favorite song.
I like Tuscan Leather. I feel like we almost have to give Eddie some cliche picks. Those are like
You want
gems.
like basics?
What's a basic?
Okay. HYFR, Hell Yeah Fucking Right.
Yeah,
with
there
Drake
we go.
and Lil Wayne.
That's a good one.
Over is a good one.
What's HRY?
Hell yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
HYF.
Headlines.
I like Uptown.
Uptown's a banger.
Child's Play. Child's Play's great.
All right.
Any timestamp song that he has, like 4 a.m. in Calabasas,
5 a.m. in Toronto.
New York. Yeah, 5 p.m. in Toronto.
I said bounce that shit like whoa.
All classics.
All right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Eddie's listening to bow bow bow.
But I also like,
pedophile.
because I know I get labeled a douchebag, but I am a lover boy at heart. So I like a lot of like the slow R&B shit that he has as well. So if you ever need some of that, I can text you them as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to some Drake.
All right.
And maybe
Actually, I want a text from you later tonight, and I'm not just saying this for the show because this means a lot to me. I want you to text me which ones you liked and didn't like.
Okay. So out of those 5, I'll go through it.
How do you do?
That'll literally take 25 minutes.
Okay. I'll let you know. And maybe I'll be a meat writer at the end of this.
All right.
It's possible. Do you like him more than Lil Wayne?
Overall, I mean, early 2000s Lil Wayne will always probably be number 1 for me. But if we're doing like actually in terms overall throughout their whole career, I think you got to go Drake.
Yeah. And I mean, Drake talks about Lil Wayne essentially as his father in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Prodigy.
He even has him tattooed on his body. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going to say Drake. That's just my generation, but
right.
I'll never
Get his
disrespect
face
Wayne.
tatted like a bitch apologizing.
I'm curious to see what people think about your choices too.
If they're real Drake fans, they'll like him a lot.
Okay.
And then another sleeper is Now and Forever. It's just a perfect melodic song.
Okay. It's gonna be like fucking Gruden listening to Migos.
That's it. That's how I am with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you did like 10 songs and you just hit play pause and I only heard the first second, I could name the song.
That should have been your niche category when you.
I know. I don't know why I picked the Dolphins
Yeah,
from
we did the
2010 to 2016. I was like 12.
Yeah. You should have.
I know.
All right then. That's it, Nick. Thanks for filling in.
Absolutely.
All right. That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.